Conversations you can share forward. That's what we do on arrow.net, ARROE.net. We are unplugged and totally uncut with Allie Larter.
I'm great. How are you doing?
Absolutely fantastic. You know, this Friday the 13th, listeners have to know The Last Victim is that movie that they need to feel, to experience, to sit on the edge of the seat.
I mean, talk about great timing. How lucky are we to be able to premiere on Friday the 13th? People better get ready. We're going to take them on a journey.
You do take us for a journey. And I got to tell you, how did you physically prepare for this one?
So I'm naturally a very athletic person, and I love getting to play roles where I get to really drop into the physicality of it. So when you think about this woman, Susan, you know, you see her do yoga. She's someone who's worked out pretty much only in like fitness studios. Mm-hmm. You know, she's not someone who actually knows how to deal with, you know, the outside in the wilderness. So for me, it was just being really strong, lean. And then also, you know, we shot, it was 24 days, I think we shot. A lot of it was nights. It was freezing cold. It was so much action is that, you know, I get my sleep and I eat well and I really prepare for, you know, this kind of sprint in this movie.
I don't know how you guys prepare for those cold nights and things. I mean, in radio, get into this business because we have air conditioning and heat during the wintertime. I don't know how you guys get out there to do that.
Well, what was I thinking? I should have gotten into radio. Maybe it's my next chapter. I'll stop torturing myself in these crazy conditions.
The feel of this, and I think what really drew me into it is the fact that this is almost like a modern day Western. I mean, I like that touch about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a neo-Western survival thriller, and it's really in the vein of No Country for Old Men. And it's shot like so beautifully. So we shot actually in Kelowna, Canada, for New Mexico, where it's set. And I mean, you just see the trees and the nature and our DP. I mean, the movie is just shot so beautifully. So I think part of the journey, like when you're watching a Western, is that you really feel the landscape. You feel the desert, you feel it, and it becomes like a character in the movie.
From one creative person to another, when you talk about that you shot it in Canada, but it's in a different part of the world. Do you mentally go there? And the reason why I bring that up is it's like when I do shows for iHeart, I'm in other cities and stuff like that. I envision being in these other cities, and it takes me a little bit to shake it off because I'm not really there.
No, for sure. I think that's part of like the artist's journey, right? Is that you have to kind of put yourself in that world and in that situation. And, you know, what was lucky about where we shot is that it looks like New Mexico. And most of the time, you know, when I am doing a project, you're not in the actual city. So it's kind of part of the preparation.
To get that authentic look that you've got in this, I mean, I can't imagine you sitting there in that makeup chair, and then because I mean, it's just amazing how real you are in this movie.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet. I know I was looking at the Variety was sent to me, the Variety review that said I had a really strong performance, and I was just like, oh. What's so nice to me is when I get to kind of shed those fake eyelashes, my hair all dolled up like a Barbie. You know, I mean, it's really something that drew me to this movie is the rawness and the brutality and getting to, you know, have those moments on screen where you see, you know, when I see them take the ring off of my husband and you really see her emerge and you see Susan find her power and her vulnerability and her rawness. And that's what I look for in roles when I'm really excited to get to portray that.
Don't you think that Ron Perlman's pace and the way that he uses his lower vocal tones is a huge part of this? Because it's almost like he pulls you in when he speaks.
Yes, him and Ralph Ineson. And, you know, it was actually a big lesson for me watching them because coming from New Jersey, you know, I talk really fast. It's just, I talk fast, I move fast, I'm a spitfire. And so for me, it's like watching them really own the camera, own their space, own their timing. Yep. And it really does draw you in when you take pause and you really allow your voice to be controlled in that way. So they're both masters at that, Ron and Ralph Ineson.
Well, we need to invite you down here to the South where we're talking slow is like our everyday. It's like, it's a little hot out there today.
Totally. I'm up for it.
Well, I'm an RVer. We're always out there in the RV. And the thing is, this really opened up my eyes in the way that at any given time, we could run into a gang like this. This is a realism type of movie, The Last Victim.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking before about what just happened in Michigan. You know, this is like relevant right now, and there are people that have lived in isolation in these small camps for generations that live off the grid. And, you know, I don't think people do remember how big our country is. And this is like, you know, these kind of things could happen. And so we take you on that journey.
Man, you talk about how big this country is. I came down from Montana to the Carolinas. 59 hours of driving. That's a big country.
Wow. Exactly. And when you're out there in the wide open plains and you go over the mountains, I mean, our country is so beautiful and we have so much to explore in it. How cool to take that road trip. Good for you.
So now what in the real world, what do you do to find yourself getting in touch with the universe or Mother Nature and stuff like that? Because actors and actresses, you have to pull your energy from somewhere.
Yeah. So when the kids were on Zoom school, me and my husband realized we were horrible teachers and that wasn't going to work for us. So we went to the mountains for a couple months, going, you know, why not? We got to figure this out. And we never looked back. We actually pivoted our lives and live in a small mountain town now. And it's been, you know, such an unveiling of like the life that we can have because you know, things have changed so much in our business. So few things are shot in LA anymore. So it doesn't warrant us to have to live there because we're always on planes and traveling anyway. But the beauty of it is that, you know, I have different stories to tell now. You know, being able to live in the mountains, you know, hike the mountains, live in a small community, it's just been such a gift. And we're really excited for this next chapter, you know, as a family, to raise free-range children and as artists to have different stories to tell. Man,
I'm so glad you brought up the, you know, being up in the mountains and stuff like that because I live in a forest here in South Charlotte and even as we're talking this morning, 2 doe walked by and that's what I love about being out here with nature because there's something magical about what's going on out there that we need to plant inside of us.
Yeah, I mean, every time I see the elk, I kind of like get welled up.
Yep.
I love our elk so much and being in nature. And I think there's different times in life, right? Like I lived in New York City for a decade. You know, I lived in 6 different places in LA and life is about the adventure and being able to experience different things. If someone had told me that I was going to live in a mountain town, I would have never believed it. But now I can't even imagine not having that life and being able to really, you know, I think with everything that's happening in the world, it's been really beautiful to be embedded in nature and just kind of let the cortisol levels come down a little bit, you know?
Well, congratulations on The Last Victim. My God, this movie sticks to you like you wouldn't believe, and it's going to create what we call water cooler conversation in radio. It really is that movie.
Yeah, no, well, thank you so much. And it's something I'm really proud of. And I hope everyone enjoys it as much as I enjoyed making it.
Please come back to the show anytime in the future. Allie, the door is always going to be open for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You be brilliant today.
You too.